Recording in progress.
Come on, Truman, show us which fast food chain you were just in the drive-through of. Come on, turn the camera on and just turn it around. It's not
Coach,
Chick-fil-A.
I'm driving. I'm gonna put the phone down.
I know those fries won't eat themselves.
But it was Cane's.
Yeah.
We are not off to a great start tonight, guys.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Me too. Nichole, you're on.
Okay, cool. Are we sharing yet?
No, give me a second.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. Should be a host at least.
Sweet. All right, let's do it. Slideshow from the beginning. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So tonight's meeting is going to primarily talk about recovery, and how your nutrition, and more specifically how your hydration plays a role in your recovery. We are also going to talk about some recovery supplements, and not just supplements, but where certain macros fall into our recovery and why it's important and what they're actually doing. We're gonna get a little bit more specific on some of the things that we've talked about in the past that y'all should be sick of hearing me say. So we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into those things. And then we're gonna talk about additional recovery methods, kind of a little bit outside of your quote unquote nutrition, but talk about some things, modalities, methods, things that y'all should be focusing on for your recovery and how to rebound quicker, and optimize some of these workouts better. And then at the end, we'll talk about any sharing, anything we want to, other topics you might want to discuss, or if you had any questions for me. I know it's been a minute since we've chit-chatted. So jumping in, benefits of hydration. So we're going to talk about the what, the why, the how of nutrition, more than just me telling you to drink an ounce of water per your body weight. So to back up and talk about benefits of the overall hydration. This is for normal human beings, but more specifically, why it's so important for athletes training at y'all's level. Being hydrated, staying hydrated will help to regulate your body's temperature, which is super important for right now in these hot months. It's brutal. The past couple of weeks, it's brutally hot. It's only going to get hotter. I feel like it's gotten super hot, super fast this summer. So staying hydrated, staying on top of your water intake is going to help regulate your internal body temperature. It's transporting your nutrients. So if you are dehydrated, it's going to be really hard for your body to transport those nutrients that you're taking in, maybe from some better eating habits. It aids in your digestion, which is really important. We've talked about digestion and how uncomfortable it can be for certain things to sit around in our gut, pre-practice, before practice, during practice. It helps with cognitive function. So for you to start thinking clearer, and reducing any of that fuzzy feeling in your brain, which doesn't sound like it would typically relate directly to your performance, but it can help with injury prevention, because if we are tired, if we are feeling a little fuzzy in our head, if we're not on top of our game due to hydration, you're more likely to make mistakes, more likely to cause injury. It also increases productivity with natural energy boosters by staying hydrated to make sure your body is functioning optimally. Now, those were the benefits of hydration. The risks of dehydration: fatigue, headaches, muscle cramps, reduces speed and performance. It increases, or it has a higher chance of you having a higher body temperature, higher heart rate, and hypohydration. I don't think we've ever talked about what hypohydration is. So hypohydration is when the sweat loss is greater than your water intake, which for y'all is really important because you don't want to start a workout dehydrated, hi Kaden, and then go into that workout already dehydrated and then start losing fluids through sweat more than you're taking in water. Does that make sense? It's like hydration to the nth degree. So I was actually just telling Ross, I was reading a study on hydration earlier today that was done with D1 college athletes. And it was talking about, the study was based off of the understanding of hydration. So basically what we're doing and what I try to give y'all information on is there's a lack of information on your hydration, what you should be taking in. And this is across the board for young athletes, it sounds like in general. And when these college athletes were tested before practice, almost all of them were in a state of hypohydration. So going into our water intake and what that looks like, rather than me just telling you, you need to be taking in X amount of ounces per your body weight, which will help for you to get your overall hydration in a day. But to make this a little bit more specific, you might want to write this down, take a screenshot, do something so you know this information. This is your nutritional timing, if you will, of your hydration and how you can prevent dehydration and prevent hypohydration before a workout. So 2 to 3 hours before exercise, you should be taking in 16 to 20 ounces of water. To give you an idea of what 16 to 20 ounces is, a regular water bottle that you can buy, like the Dasani bottles, the smart water bottles, those regular standard size bottles that come in like a case of water, those are like 17 and a half, 17.3 maybe ounces of water. So you should have at least one of those 2 to 3 hours before exercise. So let's say maybe you've reached your hydration goal for the day, you still should be taking in 16 to 20 ounces 2 to 3 hours before practice. Then about 10 to 20 minutes before practice, take in another 6 to 10 ounces. Okay, because in those 2 to 3 hours, you've probably sweat some, especially these months we're sweating walking to our car. Urine, you've peed some out. So you want to replenish 6 to 10 ounces, 10 to 20 minutes before jumping in the pool or doing whatever workout you have planned. Then during exercise, you should be drinking 6 to 10 ounces every 10 to 20 minutes as the workout allows. So having that water bottle on the edge of the pool so you can take some swigs. So 6 ounces is nothing. You can just gulp that back. So that should be your hydration intake when it is in relation to your practice, to your workout, to your exercises. That's across the board, whether the workout is, if you're doing a gym workout, if you have a dry land situation, if you're going in the pool, this is for meets, this is for practice, this is across the board, any kind of physical activity where you know you will be losing fluids. Does that make sense for everyone to get a little bit deeper in on the hydration game? Now, how does that play into your recovery? So you must be replacing the fluids lost to prevent dehydration. You are losing it through pee, going to the bathroom, urine. You are losing it through sweat. We need to be replacing anything that is lost. Okay. It's really hard for people to know exactly how much fluid you have lost, but a good rule of thumb is 16 to 20 ounces after a workout, another one of those standard water bottle sizes after practice. Drinking during practice helps. And then you always need to additionally replace the sodium and electrolytes. So going back to, I know we've talked a little bit about sports drinks and those sports recovery drinks, drinking that during practice or drinking that after practice is going to be really helpful for that recovery and replacing the sodium and electrolytes that were also lost through sweat. The biggest takeaway from this is you have to be proactive. You cannot play catch up to your hydration. I know we've talked about this before. You have to stay ahead of your hydration because we don't want to go into your workouts dehydrated in a hyperhydrated state. Any questions on this piece of the timing, the amounts, the risk of dehydration, the benefits of hydrating, anything there before we move on?
What if, like, when you bring a water bottle to practice, you like cramp up during practice?
Add sodium. So if you know that you're cramping, bringing a sports drink will help by adding sodium to your hydration. Are you prone to cramps, Enzo?
Very.
Very. Yeah, definitely keep high sodium sports drinks. That'll help for sure. Anyone else?
Sometimes during practice, like the intervals kind of fast, so it's hard for us to drink water in between sets. And then if I do personally, it sometimes feels like it's about to come up.
Take small sips.
Okay.
And just make sure you're staying really hydrated before. So if you get a breather, if you get a break, try to just take smaller sips. Maybe don't guzzle it back, because I know that feeling where it's about to come up. Small sips should help. Anyone else? Let me open the chat so I don't miss anything. Okay. Moving right along. Recovery supplements. So I'm calling this supplements. It's not really supplements. There's some supplements, but it's more recovery, nutrition. So your biggest piece, I keep clicking the wrong thing. The biggest thing for your recovery when it comes to what you should be taking in, we want to focus on the protein and the carbs. So your proteins can be a powder, a shake, a smoothie. Maybe you're eating right away, so making sure you have that good, healthy, complete protein in that meal. The reason why is it's to increase protein synthesis. So protein synthesis is something that's happening in our body to our muscles, and it's the repair and the growth of muscles from activity. Okay, that happens within the 30 to 60 minute post-workout window. And we want to replenish the glycogen store. So you lose this glycogen store during your workout, and you have this window where it is considered the most beneficial, the 30 to 60 minutes to replenish that store during that window. So protein and carbs are going to be really important. So a powder, a shake, a smoothie, I've beaten this like a dead horse about getting your protein post-workout. Additionally, your carbohydrates, some complex carbs or some simple carbs being things that you find in those sports drinks. Excuse me. Again, we want to replenish the glycogen store lost from your workout, and for rapid recovery to start muscle tissue repair and growth for adaptation. So the quicker you can get it in, the quicker your body can start healing your muscle tissues for growth, for the change, for the benefit of optimizing those workouts to get stronger, faster, higher performance. Now going into maybe like more of a supplemental stage, I've talked to you about the BCAAs, which are your branch chain amino acids. Your essential amino acids you're getting through foods like meats, things that are complete proteins. But the BCAAs are things that are going to be in a supplement beverage or a powder. And this can show signs of easing soreness, fighting muscle fatigue, and helping and aiding repair of your muscles. So if you know that you really struggle with, going back to Enzo, since he cramps so badly, he may wake up really sore because on top of the workout, he's cramping, he may be more sore. These BCAAs may really help in aiding extra soreness. Or if you had a really heavy workout in the gym with weights, or you did something new on a dry land practice and it's causing extra fatigue or extra soreness, the BCAAs would be an additional supplement you could add in to help possibly combat some of that fatigue, tender muscles, soreness. Got it? Cool. All right. So on top of your nutrition and on top of hydration recovery, these are some additional recovery methods that are important for y'all to maybe start incorporating if you don't already. Y'all are at a level where it's not just, you know this, we're not swimming for fun. You guys are working hard, you're competing at a high level. You cannot walk away from these workouts without doing additional recovery methods. It can't be, oh, I don't have time to stretch. I don't have time for that. I don't like to do this. It's going to be really important for your performance and your recovery for you to perform as well you did that day to the next day. These bounce backs, especially if y'all are in summer workouts and they're longer, you're back to back. So it's really important. One that has gotten really popular with athletes over the last couple of years are ice baths or cold plunges. Some athletes will do the trade-off where they'll spend a few minutes in an ice bath and then jump into a hot tub and go back and forth like that. I'm just focusing on the ice bath cold plunge side of it. It's shown to reduce swelling and reduce tissue breakdown. It is shown to shift lactic acid away from muscles. If you don't know what lactic acid buildup is, after strenuous workouts where you're putting strain on your muscles, it can cause the tightness and soreness. So if you're reducing the lactic acid away from muscles, it's reducing that soreness. When you jump out of the cold plunge or the ice bath, it's increasing blood flow and blood circulation to warm the body back up, which is bringing more blood flow to your muscles to help and repair. Recommended time is 5 to 10 minutes. Some people sit in there for 20. I don't recommend 20 minutes, but 5 to 10 would be fine if y'all have access to an ice bath or cold plunge. Maybe try it. Second thing is foam rolling and stretching. This is no excuses, especially the stretching. If you don't have a foam roller and you don't want a foam roll, that's one thing, but stretching, you have to do it. I should have even put yoga in here as well. Foam rolling, stretching, yoga, those types of things are going to be super important for especially your range of motion and mobility. So it eases, again, it's recovery. So it's going to ease muscle pain and help with your soreness and recovery, but it can improve your range of motion and improve your mobility, which as swimmers, I know is really, really important for your upper body extremities. It helps increase blood flow for muscle repair by pushing on those muscles. Again, it releases the lactic acid. So where the ice bath and the cold plunge can shift lactic acid away from your muscles, the foam rolling, stretching, and massage can increase blood flow for muscle repair by pressing firmly into the muscles that were just active. Recommended hold times. So like a static stretch, if you were to hold like a shoulder stretch, 30 to 60 seconds. Alternating, you want to do it for each muscle group. This shouldn't be rocket science for y'all, but it is really important. The foam rolling can be awesome because you can get those little tubes and you can throw in your bag. They're easy to pack and travel with. So if you have travel meets, you can bring it to the pool to roll around after practice before you jump in the car and go home. So those types of things can be really, really, really beneficial for your recovery because it's just going to help you feel better the next day and be able to perform at a higher level the next day rather than try to fight through some of this muscle soreness. It'll help. The next thing, sleep. which sounds probably silly. I think I've spoken to y'all before about sleep and how important it is to our nutrition or just wellness and recovery overall. I know it's summer, which may not change because I know y'all have early morning practices. So you may be sleeping about the same as, or your sleep schedule may be the same as it is during the school year. But as athletes, as growing teen athletes, the rule of thumb is getting 7 to 9 recommended hours of sleep a night. Y'all's is more. You need more. We need more than 7 to 9 hours a night to fully repair and recover and get the rest that your body needs because of the amount of stress you're putting on your body. Some tips: take a nap. Go to bed 1 hour earlier. Your body repairs in its resting state. So sleeping is a resting state, and that is where the majority of your recovery or all of your recovery happens. All the things that we talked about tonight aid in your recovery and will be beneficial to the recovery, but the recovery process is happening at night or at sleep, at rest. So the more you get, the better you'll feel. The other thing is, I'm going to just drill this home for the 17th bajillion time. Avoid the caffeine. It's going to interrupt sleep, and we don't want that. Questions on my additional recovery methods?
You mentioned stretching, but
Yeah.
I had a coach from high school talk about like the difference between static and dynamic stretches. Is that really like a big thing, like during dynamic or static before and one after?
Yes and no. Yes, you want to be doing more dynamic stretching pre-workout. So your dynamic stretchings would be considered like a warm-up situation. That would be bringing blood flow to your muscles. Because with these static holds here, your muscles are cold. They have not gotten limber or they haven't warmed up. You know what I mean? So holding it, it's not bad. It's great, but having like full range of motion, arm circles, then maybe like some pulsing holds is going to be a little bit more beneficial for a pre-practice warm-up versus the cool down. So the warm up is going to be, obviously it's exactly what it's called, warming up your muscles for activity, and it's building in range of motion. It should be building in intensity, whereas your cool down should be in the reverse. It's bringing your body back to a resting state. It's stretching and putting pressure on these muscles to bring back blood flow for the repair process. So he was correct in that.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else on the anybody else do any additional recovery methods? That one that I don't have on here, but it would kind of fall in the middle of the cold plunging and the sleep and the foam rolling stretching activities would be adding in some yoga. I don't know if y'all do any yoga. It doesn't mean that you need to go get a yoga membership and go to a yoga studio, but there's plenty of videos on the internet that you could pull up. I'm sure you could YouTube search yoga for swimmers specifically, where there would be some poses, some stretches, some mobility or range of motion exercises or flows, if you will, that could aid specifically for what swimmers need. And that would be a great recovery practice that you could add into your already very busy day, I'm sure, but it would be a great piece to add into your recovery is getting like a yoga session in a couple days a week, or even if it's once a day a week, just start maybe one day a week. Choose a day that you're going to do 10 minutes of a yoga video.
What's your opinion on cupping?
Love it. Love it. Actually, I don't know if you can see, I have a set of cups on the side of my bed. My husband is a physical therapist, and he is a big proponent of cupping. It is kind of, I don't know if I'm going to explain this correctly. It's doing, like we talked about, massage pressing on the muscles. This is drawing blood flow to the muscle with the cupping process, and it's phenomenal. It's great.
Coach Nichole, what's your opinion on like I've heard like resetting your legs is like putting your legs on a vertical position and like laying there for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And it just kind of like resets the blood and the blood flow and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's totally, it's a thing for sure. And it can be really helpful for blood flow, especially with your legs. I mean, yeah, because I mean, y'all are, for some reason, I'm obviously not a swimmer and I'm cutting the body in half and I'm thinking primarily of y'all's upper body, but you are using your lower body. So it'd be great. Meditating, any of these like recovery methods, it's more stretching is not an option, right? You have to be stretching. Sleeping, not an option. You have to be getting good sleep and not like I fall asleep with the TV on, I fall asleep in front of a screen. It needs to be good sleep. But there's a bunch of methods that, whether it's the ice bath, the foam roller, maybe you have a different stretching device, whether you use the Theragun, or a Theragun like system, or if you have those compression boots, or all of those things work and are phenomenal. And something needs to be added to your process, your practice, to help aid in your recovery. At this stage and the amount of exercise and the amount of practice and the hours of practice and what you're putting your body through, you have to be doing something. That's it. You got to be doing something. Anyone else? Okay. Well, the last slide was question, comments, concerns, and we can take it away from recovery. We can go back to any of the slides. We can dive into anything else, but that was my recovery spiel for y'all. Any other questions? Enzo was lighting it up. Anybody else? Oh, look at him. He's coming.
I have one last question.
Bring it.
I was kind of looking at my diet and like I don't have as nearly as much protein as I think I should have.
How much do you think you're having?
On a good day or a bad day?
Give me both.
On a bad day, probably like 60 grams.
Enzo. Okay.
On a good day, probably like 100 grams.
Buddy, we need to increase it. So are you not getting enough meal to meal, do you think? Are you not having enough portions at your meals?
Well,
You
I
not
don't know.
like protein?
No, I love protein. I love like all the meats, but I don't know. I guess I don't know how to like count my protein like in my meal. I don't know how much each thing
Okay,
is.
so you might be getting more than you think, but probably not. I'm just seeing some people shake heads. That's not fair. Run me through like what's breakfast?
Oh
And I'll
God.
guesstimate. This is going to be educational for everybody. Give me a guesstimate of what you're having for breakfast. Like what's a normal day? And I'm
Probably
not
like
judging. I'm just going to give you like a rounded figure of what I think let me pull up my calculator.
I'll get one of those like things that you can put in the microwave with like it's like a croissant and a sausage. And I get like and then I put like three pieces of bacon on that.
What's on the croissant?
Sausage.
There's a sauce. Is there an egg?
No.
So it's a sausage croissant, and then you're adding 3 pieces of bacon. Holy Hannah. Okay. What are they called? Who makes them? Is it like a Jimmy Dean situation?
I have no clue. I haven't looked at the box.
Okay. I'm going to say Jimmy Dean sausage croissant and see what comes up. Here we go. except this one has egg, so it's going to have more protein than what you're getting. So this one has 13 grams of protein and it has an egg. So I'm assuming you're going to get probably 8 grams of protein. And then you're having 3 pieces of bacon, which is probably another 8 grams. So it's okay. Let's call breakfast 16 grams of protein. All right. Hit me with lunch.
Yeah, I think this is where I lose it. I have like 3. I typically have a bunch of assorted like what carbohydrates.
No.
Like
What are your assorted carbohydrates?
like anywhere from like pasta to Asian noodles. Not ramen, not ramen.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
it's like healthy. I'm not gonna say healthy. It's like less in sodium, but I don't know, they're from Whole Foods. It's called Momofuku.
Momofuku. Okay. Let's look it up. It's vegetarian though. There's no meat.
I don't know if it's vegetarian. It's just no meat comes with it.
Okay. So you're having, oh, I see. Okay. It's just like a bag of noodles. I got it. Okay. Tell me so you're basically just having pasta for lunch.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time pasta. Can we add like, okay, before we start adding anything. All right. So now we're getting, let me look up how many grams of protein are in your Momofuku noodles. Okay. Nutrition. We're looking
I have
at 11 grams of protein in one package. Okay. So now we've turned our 16 into 11.
I have like 3 packages.
3 packages. Okay, so you're at about 50 grams of protein right here. Tell me about dinner. Do you have meat at dinner?
Typically I'll have like more meat, like maybe some enchiladas or like chicken tacos.
Okay, so guys, with chicken tacos or enchiladas, you are not getting a full serving of protein. Because like there's no way you're getting a full serving because you can't fit that much protein in a taco. But so let's say that's another 25 grams of protein. So now we're at 74 grams. Tell me, do you have any snacks?
I'll probably slide in like I'm just gonna say no.
No snacks. No snacks that have any protein.
With protein, no.
Okay, so what we need to do is add protein shake, add a protein smoothie, add a piece of meat. Doesn't sound like you're also eating probably enough calories. So we need to get more calories, better calories, add in some meat. And if you're not adding in meat, then it needs to be a protein shake.
Would the Core Power Elite work? Because I forgot to add that.
Yeah, that's 42 grams. Boom.
I have a lot of those at my house that I drink.
Okay, you need to drink those.
Right.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Feel the need to share or confess?
What do you think about meal replacement smoothies from like Smoothie King?
Fine. I'm gonna say I don't know for certain, so I might be speaking out of line here. But meal replacement smoothies, I don't know if they would constitute meal replacement for how many calories you need in a day. So do you know how many calories are in a meal replacement smoothie from Smoothie King?
No clue.
No clue. Anybody know off the top of their head what's going on at Smoothie King meal replacement?
I'm guessing like 1,200.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
Now I
the
need
big
to
42-ounce ones, yeah. It's a little heavy.
Do you think you're getting a big one?
I normally get the medium. So I
Okay.
don't know.
I think that's 32 ounces. I think.
Let's go Smoothie King menu.
Coach Nichole, do the Hulk.
Is that what he's getting?
Probably.
It's only 20. It's 20 grams of protein. It's 350 calories.
All right, let's do this. What smoothie are you getting, buddy?
I'm not really sure. It
You don't
switches up.
even know.
Coach Nichole, do the Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk's fine.
Mhm.
Fine. That's the 1,000 calories. I can hear you.
So if I were to recommend a smoothie for y'all, it's gonna be their Gladiator protein. Why can't I? Is there like a search menu? Okay, the Hulk. Even though this is coffee, we'll just look at this one. Don't get the coffee one, guys. All right, for a 20 ounce, it's 650 calories. It's 23 grams of protein, but it's 22 grams of fat. You are getting more calories from fat than you are from protein. So 22 grams of fat, 23 grams of protein. There is 1 more gram of protein, but we've had this conversation a bajillion times. Fat grams have more calories. So out of these 650 calories, you're getting way more in fat grams than you are in your protein. You're getting a 23 grams of protein, which is fine, which is not enough to constitute a meal for y'all. So if you're getting a 20 ounce, what is this? The Hulk, it's still not enough protein for a meal. Y'all need to be getting in, if you're getting 20 grams of protein at each meal, that's only 60 grams of protein. So we need to be beefing up that protein. That would be a perfect snack. 23 grams of protein in a snack, beautiful. All day, but not as a meal. What else y'all got?
Hey, Mr. Cole.
Hey,
Have
Julian.
you ever heard of Hotworks before?
I have.
Have you heard of Hotworks? Okay, so yeah, my mom has me going to those. It's like working out in a sauna, basically.
Yeah.
So you were talking about yoga earlier. Do you think it would be like effective to do yoga in like Hotworks? It's like
I love yoga and I love hot yoga. It's awesome. But if you're not hydrating enough, do not work out in the heat. You need to be taking in gallons and buckets of water if you are going to be working out in a sauna.
yes, ma'am. I
Do
drink
you
plenty.
feel do you feel okay working out in that kind of heat?
No,
Or
it
does it make
destroys.
you feel,
It destroys me
well,
every time.
then don't do it. Stop.
All right. I tried telling my mom that, but yeah.
She wants you working out in the heat?
Well, I mean, she likes it. She says that it could help me. I mean, I guess it helps sometimes. Like it helps with my flexibility. So
Yes. It could help with
that-
your flexibility. It can help with your flexibility for sure. The yoga and the hot yoga can. I just wouldn't recommend you doing like a high intensity workout in there.
Oh no, it's not high intense. It's just
Okay, good. Okay, good. The stretching in the heat is beautiful. Just make sure you're replenishing the fluids lost in there.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
sure. Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else have any fun questions for Sunday? Does anybody have any topic requests for maybe next time?
Could we go over like the coverage of protein and meats and like
Yeah. Like, okay, let me ask you this. I'm going to be really real with y'all for a minute. If I go over the protein content and weight of protein in grams in specific cuts of meat, y'all going to be weighing it out?
I don't know how to weigh it.
Okay. I'll give it to you. What if I says like
Enzo, you weigh it with a scale,
Like there's a
like the
food
thing that
scale.
tells you how much it weighs. That's what you do.
I don't think I have a food
So
scale,
they make-
Kaden.
listen, you don't need to use a food scale, but I can guesstimate with you like the palm of my hand size chicken breast is going to be about 4 ounces, which is about 20 to 23 grams of protein. So would that be helpful if I came with information like that? If I said a cup of ground turkey is about 5 ounces, that is about 25 grams of protein. Would that type of stuff be informational for y'all? Would you use it? So if your family's making tacos and you want to measure out, I'll make sure you're getting 40 grams of protein, and I tell you that's 2 cups of meat. Are you going to scoop out your 2 cups of meat? Will that be helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Can I get some other nods? Okay. And we'll do that. I'll do that for protein and carbs. Anybody have any other topics? Would that be a helpful one, the protein? Okay. Has anybody started using protein supplements as far as like shakes or powders? Good. I think it's gonna be really important for y'all to get. I don't think that maybe some of y'all, I think the majority of y'all aren't getting enough protein because unless you're having a shake or protein powder, because the amount of protein y'all need, I don't know that you're getting it in meals. So by giving y'all the cups and those types of measurements will be helpful. And if y'all can incorporate some of those shakes, some of those powders, it'll be really helpful. What else? We good? Coach Ross, have anything else you'd like to input tonight before we all head out?
We're good. Just sit there. Yeah.
All right, guys. Was the nutritional timing of how much water y'all need to be taking in before practice is helpful? To have that dialed in a little bit more. Y'all really give that an effort. The 2 to 3 hours, the 10 to 20 minutes. Try incorporating that and see how that maybe affects your energy levels, your cramping. I know some of y'all have told me y'all have struggled with headaches sometimes. Okay, cool. Thanks for the questions tonight, guys. Happy Sunday.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.